have your mind together first, everything else crumbles. Everything else crumbles.
Follow the Leader features dynamic women entrepreneurs in their journeys to becoming a success in business. This podcast is an inspirational space for entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, and thought leaders as they share their keys to success. I am Chanel Christoph Davis, the CEO and founding partner of the largest woman and minority-owned sales tax advisory practice in the country, Davis & Harmon, LLC. Welcome back to Follow Leader Podcast Show. Today on the podcast, we have the honor of having with us the guest leader, Andrea Wise-Brown. Andrea is a licensed mental health expert and formerly trained hostage negotiator. Wow, I didn't know you were a hostage negotiator. I love bios because I learned so much. Who is based in the Dallas, Texas area. Wise-Brown has a private practice where she provides individual, couples, and family counseling using research-based therapy approaches. She provides classes where she teaches women in business how to build their confidence and money while managing stress. In addition, she is a keynote speaker for corporate workshops, colleges, high schools, churches, and provides empowerment panels, team building, and relationship seminars. She has given home-based treatment to high-risk youth and families, drug abuse, truancy, and domestic violence. Wise-Brown served as an investigator for Child Protective Services. In addition, as a mental health expert, she educated and worked alongside local and federal law enforcement agencies on identifying mental illness within the community. Wise-Brown is the author of the book, 6 Pillars to Power Up Your Mind. Mental health is a lifestyle. It's a go-to guide that provides specific tools for keeping the mind healthy and strong. She has presented nationally on topics such as psychology of prejudice and racism, mental health, relationships, powerful living, resilience, trauma, self-esteem, parenting, and the impact of media on body image. Wise-Brown serves as a trusted media source, and she has appeared on OWN Network, Fox 4 News, Sirius XM, Tom Joyner Morning Show, BlackAmericaWeb.com, Sway in the Morning, Get Up with Erica, Good Morning Texas, BNC News, and other national media outlets. And now we are bringing her to Follow the Leader podcast. We know that you are the perfect person to broach this topic. It's a very sensitive topic. It shouldn't be a sensitive topic, but it is. But I really wanted you to come on and talk to us about the foundational structures or the framework that leaders should have in place around their mental health.
Yes.
I think that's just a pillar that you should have if you're a leader, because you're in charge of others' lives. You really have to make instrumental decisions that impact others. And so from that standpoint, this is why I want to welcome you to the show, Andrea Wise-Brown. Welcome.
Hey, my sister. Hey, Chanel. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
Listen, no. I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm gonna let you be excited, but I am so excited because I love you and I love the work that you do.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I really want to talk to you is because I've been an entrepreneur for 21 years now, which is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But when you're even having a conversation or starting to speak to people about starting your own business, you go to the SBA, the Small Business Association, you may, visit different chambers. They're going to tell you that the first thing you need to have in place is the ABCs. You have to have an attorney, a banker, and a CPA. You want to even consider starting a business. Those are the 3 things you have to get, ducks you have to get in a row. No one ever talks about, and get you a therapist. Get you a therapist to layer on to the ABC. I would like to amend the ABC and call it the TABC. Therapist first, then attorney, then banker, and CPA.
Yes.
I think for a lot of communities, being in formal therapy is taboo, and some people want to rely on their faith and their they're a pastor maybe, but I would venture to say that when you're starting to build complex, organizations, you may need a little bit more help than what your pastor can afford you. What do you think about that, Andrea?
Yes, absolutely. You got it right. Yeah, TABC. Because the thing is if you don't have your mind together first, everything else crumbles. Everything else crumbles. So your business won't flourish. People won't stay with you. People won't come to the business because things will be all over the place. If you have a family system, your family system will be broken. If you're a parent, your parenting and your parenting relationships will be broken. Absolutely, your finances will absolutely be broken. So we have to start with the foundation. You can't just build the house starting with the ceilings and the beautiful light fixtures first and the paint on the walls. You have to start with the foundation first. And the foundation is your mind, it's your brain. You get that right first. You make that a priority. So absolutely, yes, I totally agree. And I help many of women and men build their business by starting with their brains first. But this is the thing, not only build their business, Chanel, but maintain their business. Because this is the thing. So you may have heard this before when people say, well, getting $1 million is really not that hard. If you kind of get a strategy in place, if you get a strategy in place and you kind of keep going and you commit to it, then getting $1 million is not that hard. But what's harder or more difficult is maintaining
$1 million.
Come on now, and building on that. That's right. Because there are a lot of extra pressures that come with the business and that maintaining that $1 million.
Absolutely. I can attest to that, because I think when you're in the building phase and you're trying to reach that target, you're blowing and you're going, you're focused, you have everything, in line. Everyone understands that, Chanel is hustling, right? Chanel is, leave Chanel alone, because they just started that business. Yes. Don't call Chanel with your problems. Call me. I'll handle it, right? Everyone kind of is in a protective phase. If you have a good circle, a good family structure, a good circle around you, even a pastor, he'll come out and bless your business. He'll come out and put some oil in your business. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of has like a connected understanding that you are venturing into something that's very difficult. Once you get to a level where you're established and successful,
yes,
some people are going to start to fall away. Some of those supporters are going to start to, things are going to get weird.
Yes.
It's going to get weird. It's going to get a little shaky.
Yes.
And you're going to realize that, wow, okay, I was really fighting to get to this level, but this level introduces a whole different layer of complexity and issues.
Yes, obstacles.
That I didn't foresee.
Yes.
So how do you process those feelings and those thoughts?
Yeah. So let me just say this to you. Yeah. So on the journey, right, when you're uber focused on getting, let's just say we're using $1 million and you've done that. But when you're uber focused on doing that, then you just think about the formula that you have. But what's so interesting about the brain is if you don't take care of the brain first and you make the goal, not your brain is not the priority, but you make your goal, your priority, the $1 million, then think of all the other things around you that fall to the wayside. So let's say I'm uber focused on getting $1 million and I put this business structure in and I have tunnel vision, me and my business people. But now what about the people who you're in relationship with? So let's say if you're in a marriage, how much energy are you feeding your marriage? How much energy are you feeding your partner? What about your children? How about your children? How much energy are you feeding your children? You know what? How about your friendships? How much energy are you feeding your friendships? And then how much energy are you actually feeding yourself? Your self-care. Because this is the deal. We understand that in a car, there's an engine, And we assume that that engine in that car is supposed to get us wherever we want to go. So we navigate, we put it on, and we get in the car and we go. And we get in the car and we go. And we get in the car and we keep achieving our goals of getting to that place. But are we taking care of the engine? Because if we don't stop to check to make sure that the oil is in there, me? That my carburetor is running, that it's cooled down, that it's actually parked for a certain period of time, that it's not sitting in the hot Texas sun all day. Like, if you don't take time to care and to nurture, and pay attention to the needs of the engine, then you can get to all those places, but how long will the engine last before it breaks down? And then you can't go any further. It's not worth it. So really the deal is prioritizing getting your mental health in check and keeping it in check.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you do that, then right? Because it's so a part of that. And I kind of put it in the book that you were talking about, these 6 pillars. Within those little 6 things, right? I really like to use those staples because it's a holistic approach to keeping your mind healthy and strong. See, once you use those steps, those strategies to keep your mind strong, then they help to keep you grounded. So that even though you do have this goal, this $1 million goal, and which is fine because abundance is ours. I love abundance and I love prosperity. So it is ours, but I just don't want to be abundant and prosperous by myself.
No, absolutely not.
Come on now.
Absolutely not.
That's right. So when you put those strategies into place and you work those, then one of the steps is meditation. I just want to talk about this quickly because, meditation isn't this thing that's woo-woo. And it isn't this thing where, when people look up, if you were to Google meditation, you probably see somebody sitting down and, legs crossed applesauce and arms open. And you assume that they're just quiet for 30 minutes or 15 minutes. You can meditate for 30 seconds. For 30 seconds. Whenever your anxiety is high, meditate for 30 seconds. Before you start your day, just sit with yourself. You can meditate in the shower.
You can check in.
That's because it's all about being present. A lot of times with a lot of my high-powered women and men, what I find is when they get so caught up in their goals, they get really good. They're good at compartmentalizing. So they can compartmentalize any thoughts on this. They shut down feelings because the assumption is in order to be, rich or to be a millionaire, you can't have feelings.
You can't have feelings. It's going to get in the way.
Which is not true, because emotional intelligence is extremely important in building your business and maintaining your business, right? Yes. However, when people, not however, I'm gonna say but when people, they start to feel like, they don't want to really check in with themselves and check in with how they feel and ground themselves. They stay away from that. And so they just get on this path to closing out all of these other things, compartmental, and just focusing on this one, but then everything else falls to the wayside. And I help people stay connected to all things that are important without losing anything.
Okay. So I think that's very important that you talk about being present and staying connected, because we're all, we just got news that apparently the news is telling us that we are in the decline of the pandemic. The pandemic is almost over. Okay. I don't know. But we just came off of a 2-year cycle where a lot of those doors were closed for us. We didn't have a choice. We had to really close a lot of doors and sit with ourselves and start. The world closed, everything shut down. So you just literally had to just kind of take it down and reprioritize a lot of things, which for me was good, It was really good for me. But for a lot of people, they struggled and they suffered because they were like, I'm used to going and blowing. I'm used to, kicking ass and taking names. I used to jumping on a plane and going to my next destination and then, meeting you here on the East Coast for breakfast and meeting you over there in Central Coast for this and for that. People just used to I was frantic. I can just tell you, I was frantic. I was going from event to event. Andrea knows. So I'm speaking to someone who personally knows me. I was going around.
And I would be looking at you like, really? Like,
yeah, it was a lot.
And how you, what, like, really?
It was a lot. It was a lot. So when all that shut down, it really helped me to reprioritize, what was I doing because I thought I had to do it?
Come on.
Versus what was really necessary
that's good
for me to reach and attain my goals.
That's so good. That's so good. Let me say this. Can I just say this? Because we getting older, we might forget it. But look.
Yeah.
No, but those narratives, the narratives that we have in our head, and I'm gonna tell you where they come from. They come from our childhood. They do, for all of us.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we have these narratives in our heads that we believe because our first teachers who were in our environment, because our environment was a teacher also, told us that this was true.
Okay.
And this is something that I love to do with my clients, is we challenge that narrative. Is that even true? So I just wanted to insert this as you were telling your story. I love that. So I'm going to point out that's a narrative that I need to be at this event, networking with these people to maintain my success. And what you found out, one thing that you found out over those last 2 years, it was a lie, lies. It was a lie. Read you, right? Go ahead.
It was a lie. So now I'm in the position and very blessed to be in this position. I know that this, everyone who's watching and listening to this won't be able to, agree with this, but I'm in a position now in my life where I'm really having to choose the rooms that I enter into.
Ooh, love it.
I'm being very, very thoughtful and very, I thought I was just strategic before. I'm even more strategic now. Because if it's going to burn my batteries down, I just can't do it.
Yes.
I'm just like, why am I doing this? What? I know people love me and they want to see me and I get it, but I have to really focus on the balance of it all because, when the world shut down again, I felt it in my body. I felt like I went from 100 miles an hour to like hitting the wall.
Yes.
Where I was forced to stand still.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to feel through my body like, Chanel, you've been doing too much.
Yes, right. And let me just tell you, you were not aligned with the God in you, with all of the power that you possess. This is the thing that he created all of us as miracles with every single thing that we need. And that's the assumption, because the world tells us, and family of origin trauma, your childhood tells us that what we need is on the outside of us.
Yes.
That is a lie. Everything that you need, you possess. And we are all made of energy. Let me just tell y'all something else. Physics says what we desire desires us. What we desire desires us. If you, successful woman, were just to look back to some years ago in your life, you imagined all of this that you're sitting in today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you ever just sit, what I tell you.
You give me goosebumps.
And that's what I want you to have. That's what I want you
to. Are you suggesting that I was going to get here anyway?
Come on now.
I had done all those things I thought I had to do or believed all those narratives, I would have been here.
Oh, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, don't get me, listen to me. Every single thing that happens in our lives happens just as it's supposed to. So I won't take any of those experiences away from you. You were supposed to have every single one of them superficial, meaningless experiences. You were, because the goal is for us to become self-actualized, to rise and to grow into our most authentic selves. So this is the deal, honey. If you didn't have all of those experiences when the 2 years shut down, you wouldn't be sitting at this point where you could distinguish between what was real and what was good for you and what wasn't. You got me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So every single experience, was it necessary? It was necessary, but for your personal growth. Okay. But did you need that to become a successful businesswoman who's out here leading and uplifting people and come on, God created you to do that. So you were going to do that anyway. It's the belief. Got me. So that's what I like to teach people that's so powerful, is that you are the creator, the co-creator of your life. So what it is that you believe, if you believe it, you just have to dream, imagine it. And this is what you did. I did the same thing. And then believe it. See myself there, but then make the choice to believe it. And once you make the choice, it's like, listen, honey, it's like putting an address in your navigation system. No. You don't know how you're going to get there, but when you get there,
you're going to get there. Listen, Andrea, I had so many narratives in my head.
Come on.
Pre-pandemic, I had a narrative that I had to work myself silly. I had a daughter who was going to college, and she's gonna pick a really outrageous college, and I was gonna have to pay this is my only baby, my baby girl.
You was gonna have to pay $3 million.
I was gonna pay $3 million to my baby girl's school. I mean, it's my baby girl. You know what? I'm gonna get it. And I worked myself silly.
Lord.
And then baby girl get a full merit scholarship.
Come on now. Because guess what? Her success has nothing to do with you. Here we go again. Got me? You got me? So we're talking about you, and we're talking about every other client, and we're talking about myself, but we're talking about your baby and my baby too. We're all on our own journey. Her journey is no different than yours. Got me? Yes. So what she sees for herself, she's going to bring it. She's going to bring it into her life. What you desires you. You just have to get up and go get it. You know, sometimes my clients will come to me and they'll say, you know, I'm depressed, you know, like I'm in I'm successful, I'm doing this, but I'm in a dark place. I can't do this, I can't do this. And so they don't assume that I'm going to say, after assessing what's going on, let me hear your story, because really, let me say this, I will say this, there is a predisposition, a genetic predisposition, genes, that speaks to mental illness. Okay. Mental health concerns, right? Okay. So most likely, if you're dealing with, if it's easier, let's just say for you, opposed to someone else, to be more anxious, right? Mm-hmm. You may be wired in a way to have more anxiety than others. It's genetic. Or you may be wired in a way to look at the world in a less favorable place than others. Those things are genetic, right? Or depression, a low mood, those things are genetic. However, let me tell you something about our neurotransmitters and our genes, just like diabetes, just like cholesterol. Imagine a gun. And we want to look at the predisposition as the genes is bullets in the gun. But when you take care of yourself, they never have to shoot. They never have to come out. They never have to come out. You got me? Right. That's right. So it's just about knowing you and knowing your body. So I want to say that first. However, what I know for sure, when people come to me and they say, Andrea, I'm in a dark place, I'm trying to run this, I got this going on, the money is coming, finance, everything, but I'm just feeling dark, my mood is low, and I just can't get it done. So I always ask, okay, because usually when we are depressed, feeling low, or we're feeling like highly anxious, I always tell them, anxious, I always tell them that right there is your red flag, your little bell, ring, ling, 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 of just letting you know you're no victim to it. Just letting you know something is off.
Something's off.
Come on now. There's something that you're not dealing with. There's something that you're afraid of. Got me? There's a space that you're in, where you're feeling like maybe you've lost all hope or you feel helpless too. And so let's figure that out. So when I ask the story, okay, what you going, they don't understand how it's related, because what they assume is that they just need to come in. They either need to get a pill, or that's right, or I don't know, I need to just talk them out of it, and then they just gonna get up and but no, it's not that. What it is I help you to assess. Give me a story. You don't have to worry about doing the work. Tell me what's going on. They start to talk about it. And then I can pinpoint exactly what triggered this event. And so now the work starts here with you, with the client, because I'm here.
Yes.
So now we've pinpointed what your narrative is.
And what you're telling yourself.
What you're believing. And listen, yes, what you are choosing to believe, maybe because of what someone else is telling you now, that could sound like what someone told you during childhood,
back in the day,
or what you experienced during childhood. And let me just say to you, this takes a professional to do this. So this is not something that, just the lay person can do. This is the work that we do, because it's not on the surface.
Right. It doesn't reveal itself. It takes a while to reveal itself.
Right. And how it reveals itself to the client is anxiety or low mood. You got me? Feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck, that procrastination, that can't be happy, can't find happiness, broken relationships, everybody's quitting, or all these issues at the workplace. And all of those things come from you. So when we come in and we start to do this work, and I start to hear what the narratives are, as soon as we, I teach you what it is, we assess it. Now the work is, because now we're changing the narrative, because there's no benefit in us believing anything that ain't true. Yeah. I'm just not into that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even like watching, certain types of movies. I love a documentary. I want to believe things that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not chasing somebody else's rainbows. Like, I want to know what's true. So I always ask my client, are you really into believing what's true? Because I'm on the outside and I can tell you, I can help you realize, make a distinction between what's real and what's not.
Yes,
that's right. And then
it's creating internal narratives that happened to you way back when. It could be childhood, it could be young adulthood.
Yes.
And you're just repeating these narratives. It's like a record being played in your brain.
Yes, because a situation that you find yourself in, got me? Triggers it feels the same. So it feels the same like when you were 3. But it's a brand new situation with brand new people. Or it feels the same as when you was 5 or 7 or 15. You got me? And so all of a sudden, your body, and especially when we're but when we're disconnected. So remember, I was telling you about being present. When we're present, then we can feel it right away. Then we know it. This is why I'm saying be proactive. But when you shut those compartments down, put stuff in compartments, now you're living on the surface of just trying to make the millions. So then all of a sudden, when I'm feeling low mood, I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
Got me? But then in doing the work, when we identify it and see, okay, this is where this came from, I like to go to the root. You have to go to the root in order to eradicate the problem. We can't just skim over it and act like it ain't there and act like it did not happen, because it will keep coming up again. It will keep bothering you and impeding on your life. It's just like if you step on a piece of glass. So you were injured as a child. You were traumatized. Your foot experiences trauma and it's up in your foot. And it was so painful that the assumption is, the narrative that you tell yourself is that if I go digging it up, or if I go trying to mess with it, it's going to hurt just like it hurt then, or it may even kill me. But what I'm here to tell you is that that's not true. And then what you do is you decide, well, I'm not going back in there because it's going to be so painful. So you try to walk on it. Well, as you try to walk on it, it just disrupts your hip. It disrupts your legs, your arms, because you're disjointed. So this is all of the dysfunction that you find in your life. Got me? In all areas, your finances. Why can't I make a certain amount of money? Why is my business not got flourishing? Why can't I find a good relationship? All men are no good. Or
why are my kids cutting up? Why am I,
why they getting high? Why they in and out of jail? It's because that glass is in your foot. And let's go back. That's right, because as you've been limping and twisted, but trying to act like everything's okay, trying to act like your foot is okay, it is affecting not only your alignment, but the alignment of your family, the alignment of your children, of your spouse, of the workplace, of your finances. So I keep trying to give these examples of how important it is to get your mind right first. So I say, no, my love, come on, I'll take your hand. Let's go back in. Let me help you. Let me operate for you. You and I together, because I'm going to need you to help me. You can't just lay there and think, come on now. You got to prop that foot up. You got to hold on to the side. You got to trust me.
Yeah, trust me with the wounds so I can get to the oh my gosh, what you do is a miracle. I tell you, you do for a living is a miracle.
No,
it's absolutely a miracle.
No, but I love it. I love it, Chanel. And we have to go in and we have to get it out.
Wow.
And then when we get it out, right, there's a process, then you start to heal. Then at some point, you start to walk taller and higher and mightier, and everything starts to fall back into alignment. Wow. And you start to flourish and get all of the things in life that you desire.
Wow. So you touched on one thing. Mm-hmm. And this is like a buzzword that I hear so many different versions of, that I want to address it before we get out of here. Okay. Self-care. I think it's just a word that we throw around. It's been marketed to us. Is such a part of capitalism because they want us to spend more money. Yes. People think it's doing something, taking a bath, going to get a massage. When you say self-care, what really are you talking about?
Oh, that's so good. And I agree with you that it is a buzzword, kind of like Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's how I feel. It's so commercialized.
That's right. So self-care, let's, body bombs, body soaps, go to a spa and spend $1,000 over the week.
Yes.
Check this out, Chanel. Then you go and you come out and you feel in the same way, because that is superficial and short term. That is short term and superficial. So now, this is what I would say to you. Self-care could look like sitting in the bath with some bath salt or some Epsom salt, cheap, and grounding yourself, because salt does have grounding abilities, right? So that could be a part of it. But along with that, it doesn't just stop with getting in the tub and getting out. Along with that is the meditation, being present. That's huge, like being present. Self-care is exercise, move your body and get your neurotransmitters connecting in the healthiest way possible. Raise the dopamine, level out your serotonin. You want to hit off the anxiety and depression. You can do it naturally. You take vitamin D. What are you feeding your brain? What are you eating? Eating foods that are high and omega-3 fats, they build the brain and make the brain stronger. So when we talk about self-care, not only do we want to work on external, and we are not judging anyone for doing those things. If you have the money to do it, And then you can do it. But what's most important, because those things don't work for the long term, what's most important is when you self-care internally, when you put some self-care on that brain.
Yes.
When you take care of your brain, that is self-care, if that makes any sense. Sleeping.
Yes.
Come on now. People think that it's cute to have 2 hours of sleep a night. Oh, I only sleep, and I see this a lot with C-suiters and people who own businesses. And, they love to brag about when they come to me, oh, well, I only need 2 hours of sleep. Lies. That's a narrative that you are telling yourself. Now, you may not need the full 8 hours, but you need to be working on a good 6 to 8 hours, because your brain has to shut down for maintenance in order for you to be your best. So just because you're performing with 2 hours of sleep doesn't mean that you're performing optimally. Yes. Got me? So it's about you taking care of your brain. That's self-care. You have to maintain your brain.
So do people come to you for tools to help them to start up along the journey of self-care and self-actualization and, addressing trauma? Like, do people come to you asking you for those tools?
Yes, they do. They come to me a lot of times. So lately, since mental health has been a buzzword.
It's very buzzy.
And let me tell you something.
There's a lot going on.
No shade and no tea. I love it because I've been out here working. You know this. I have a whole brand that's called Mental Health is a Lifestyle. I have a brand. So I have been out here thumping, trying to get everyone to accept it as a lifestyle and to eradicate the stigma surrounding it. So nowadays, I will get clients coming in and they'll say, I just need to work through some stuff. Like, could you just help me? I didn't heard this. They may have heard Charlemagne the God, or they may have heard LeBron James or Taraji P. Henson talk about, mental health. So they come in for that.
I love it.
However, a lot of business women, because I do also, you said this, I go to businesses, I go to corporations, I go to colleges. And what I do is that I help people, individuals and corporations. So I help them in the way of overcoming barriers, face challenges, and break dysfunctional cycles. Okay. Got me? Gotcha. So if the goal is your mental health, then I do that individually with teaching you how to face challenges, overcome barriers, and break those childhood cycles. But I do that also with corporations. I do that also with colleges. So I go to companies. Companies will call me in because everyone is disjointed. They're losing staff. There's so many issues. I go in and I assess everything with the personalities, what's going on, just like you come into me and I help with those things too, so that the company can thrive as desired, just how they dream, and with people, so people can thrive and get all of the things, the quality of life that they dream of and that they want. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to put all of your information in the show notes. And if anyone wants to reach you, you are everywhere. awisebrown.com is your website. Yes. They can find you on social. We're going to put all your social media links down below as well. They can absolutely tap into some of your workshops. What's coming up for 2022 if someone wants to work with you in a group setting or individually? Do you have anything that you can share with us that's coming up?
I do, and I am so excited about this. So it's me and a financial guru. Her name is Jean, and she works with Financial Lifestyles. That's her company. And we together we're having this amazing, the most dynamic and empowering class. And it's on June the 3rd. It's June the 3rd. It's here in Texas. It's a boot camp. And what we're teaching women, I don't know if it's all women or if we're allowing some men in the class, but we're teaching, I'm thinking it's women, how to dominate their money, their business, and their cash flow. So
Okay.
we're doing that because psychologically, your brain gets in the way of that.
Yes, it does. It will shut
Yeah.
that money flow all the way down.
Yes. And I wanted to also say this, a lot of times you will hear these little, like we said, buzzwords when people say mindset, or you have these empowerment classes for one day, a brunch, or which you and I, hopefully we're going to do a brunch soon, but you have a brunch or you have these boot camps and people will fire you up for that day.
Yes.
And you feel so good, and then you leave, and then all of a sudden, a lot of those narratives, and then life gets in the way, which it doesn't have to, but it gets in the way, and then your fervor goes down, right? Yes, your fervor goes down. But that's the thing, that's the great thing about the work that I do, because I am not just a short-term, got me, inspirational. Yes. They call me the power starter. It ain't short term. I am long term. So I help you when you hit those barriers. I help you when you hit those speed bumps, right? I hit you. It's like going on a weight loss journey and you hit a plateau and you don't know what to do, and then you give up. No. I help you with that.
You're the resource.
For the long term.
I love it.
And with this class, that's what we're doing. So we're having a boot camp, but then we're also offering long-term resources.
That's amazing. And you also teased that we're gonna do something together as well. Because yes. This is coming up more for me in my personal life. I know a lot of women CEOs, and I've been having intimate conversations with them. So it's becoming very obvious to me that we need to do something as a group. So I'm excited about that. So again, I just want to thank you, Andrea Wise-Brown. You are just amazing. Everyone should know about you and know what you offer. You have been a gift to me in my life personally. And I just want to platform you and let people know that it's okay to have additional person in your toolkit, that it should be TABC.
Come on.
You should have therapy. You should also have an attorney, a therapist, attorney, banker, and CPA. So when someone tell you your toolkit should be ABC, we're going to alter that. It's TABC.
I love it.
Add therapist first, because there's a lot of people out here flaming out and doing all kinds of crazy things because they don't have that grounding that they need to be the optimal leaders that they can be. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us, Andrea. You are just phenomenal as usual.
Oh my God, I love you so much. You are phenomenal too, my sister. Thank you.